Hello, Okon. Okay, so my name is Adedamola Ajayi. Okay, I'm a chartered accountant and I'm a lead trainer in HFR Finance and Accounting Academy. Okay, so now what am I here to do? Now, this video is specifically targeted towards those writing ICAN exams. I've been teaching and helping students pass for way over 15, if not more than 15 diets now for a while now. And one thing I've come to notice is that passing exams is beyond just reading, studying, and knowing the right answers. Most times, or don't know most times, a lot of times, some students fail because some simple things they are supposed to do or pay attention to, they don't pay attention to. So this is why it's very important that you watch this video and follow along. It's very key, it's very instrumental to helping you maximize what you have been doing for months in just those 2 or 3 days that have to prove to the examiners that you have what it takes to go to the next level, clear the papers that you have in front of you. Alright, so let's go together. So please pay attention and I'm going to be as practical as possible. That's how I always do. Alright, so let's start from the first one. I know some of you will not listen, but I'll still say my own. Please rest and eat well some days to exam, at least 2 days to exam. Of course, we know ICAN exam starts Tuesday, so of course some of you might not have papers until Wednesday or Thursday for those that are not writing, but normally let's assume it starts Tuesday. By Monday or Sunday, please don't stop all this overnight reading. Why? It's very simple. I know most of you feel like that last night or last 2 nights, let me just read through the night so that I can cover as much as possible. That's called panic reading. And that's not even the major issue. The major issue is that you need to be at your very best to be able to approach and answer questions in the exam. And if you don't sleep well, you're already tired. See, there's a way your physical body affects your brain. If you are tired, you are not well rested, you have not ate well, you will not function well. So even questions that you will know, you will struggle. I've been in exam hall when I was writing, some people will be sleeping off in the exam hall. They can't just control because they've been having sleepless nights and their body is just failing on them. So I want to beg you, read whatever you can read up to a day or two before exam. I'm not saying don't do final revision on like a day or 2 days program. Check up on some things, do final finishing touches, but please, I beg you, don't read overnight. Sleep once, at least try and catch 5-6 hours sleep a day to the exam. Do you understand? So that you feel refreshed. See, most times the thing is that what you have studied is there, but you need to be at your best to be able to recall and give the very best. So my first advice is some days to exam, rest, eat well. 2, understand your system. Understand, everybody is not the same. I'll make this very practical, like I said. For example, 1, when I want to write any exam, I'm going for any interview or anything like that, I don't eat till I finish. If the exam is from 5 a.m. till 8 p.m. in the night, I will eat after that 8 p.m. Why? Because if I eat, it distorts my own system. Do you understand? But if I don't eat, I'm extra sharp. Do you understand? I'm talking of I've come to understand my own system. And so when I go for exams, I don't eat. Because if I eat, my stomach can start troubling because I'm a bit anxious about the question. I want to use toilet. That can be a bit distracting and a lot of things can happen. Do you understand? So I've come to understand my system. I personally don't eat. But for some people, they need to eat to function. I've met people like that. Without food, their brain is what? Their brain is what? Their brain is not functioning at all. Alright. So please, you have to what? You have to understand your own system. So what works for you is fine. So if you are this person that you need to eat well, please do. There's some people too, please, if possible, if you know that staying dehydrated is not going to help, get a bottle of water that you take into the exam. If you want carbonated drink, it's fine. Just know what works for you and work with it, and don't try and copy. Do you understand? So please understand your system and work with what and work with that. Then let me say this, please dress comfortably to the exam hall. Now, wear clothes that are comfortable for you. Exams, what the examiners are testing is not an interview. They are not looking at how well you are dressed. Of course, dress responsibly. Don't dress opening any parts are not supposed to open. Dress looking very, or at least take your bath, smell nice, wear good clothes, clean clothes. But please dress comfortably. Don't overdress. Do you understand? Don't wear tight fitting dress that will choke the life out of you. I'm sorry, some exam halls they might not make provision for fans, AC and all. So imagine you're wearing a dress that is so choky and tight, you're already sweating. Consider the period we're into. There are times that your exam can fall in rainy season, can fall in dry season. That should also give you an idea of how you're supposed to dress, but please dress comfortably. Funny part, I've seen people dressed to exam or fully suited up, like three-piece suit, tie, not making any sense for what when you're not going for interview. Why would you choke yourself up? So please just free get shirts that are comfortable, trousers that are comfortable. Just dress comfortably. That's very important because that will actually affect how you function or do well in the exam. Then please, I want to beg you, get to the exam hall early enough and find your seat. If you are living in a place that you know traffic is an issue, you have two options. Either go very early in such a way that at least an hour or two you are there. If the exam is starting by 9, by 7:30 you should be in the exam hall or the premises. Do you understand? That's very key. So you can settle in before the exam. Or even if it's not possible, if the traffic is very, you can find a place to stay that is closer. Some people go as far as paying for hotels just to, and this exam is very, just those 2 days will determine whether all your effort for these long months are going to yield fruit. So that's why you have to pay attention to things like that. So please get to the exam hall early enough. Leave home early enough. Set alarm. In fact, if possible, at times you have read for some day before exam, you are tired. Have somebody that you know that you trust that can wake you up when you stayed. Because some people, alarm will not wake them up. So just pray for the worst. In case you don't wake up, you set alarm, you don't wake up, somebody should be able to wake you up. But please get to the exam hall early. Funny, when I was at final accounts, you see people who have started exam term, they are just rotting, sweating, they're trying to find their seat, they're already destabilized and the exam. Then make allowance. You don't know what can happen, if rain will fall, if this will happen. So the earlier you get to the exam, the more you can set in, and please find your seat. So they will type your number on your docket on each of your seats. So please find it so that when it's time to enter the exam, that's not when you're trying to look for where you're going to sit. So get there early enough and settle down. Then please get your docket ready. Print your docket. Docket will come out at least if exams is Tuesday, by Sunday night or Monday morning. The docket will be out so that people can start it. So please, very important. Your docket is part of what will allow you to be admitted into the exam, and you have to also sign some things. And so please get your docket. Then you have your exam number and a lot of things, information there. So please get your docket, print it out, most likely in hard copy because you can't take your phone inside. Then very important, get your writing materials. Biro, you are not allowed to use pencil in the exam. So either black or blue biro, that's what you are allowed to use. Don't use green, red, or any other color. So please get your writing materials and get extra. If possible, take 2 or 3. I've seen cases where biro will mess up. Biro that has been working before suddenly stops working. I don't have extra. I have to be begging people, looking for people, and asking invigilators to help you. That can destabilize. So get as much. If you can buy 3, it's fine. How much is biro? You have spent thousands and thousands of naira to write this exam. So get your writing materials. And please, let me say this. Get either a new calculator or go and service your calculator. Very important. Because your calculator can fuck up that. Your calculator, sometimes you are using it when you are trying to prepare already for exam. And it's already giving you signals or showing you some things. At times it just goes off. It can be funny. Nobody will lend you a calculator when they have their own exam to do. So don't destabilize yourself. Service your calculator or get a new calculator. Go and change it, but if you have not changed it for a while, so you know that you are good to go. Okay? Then another tip I want to talk about is please check yourself well before you enter the exam hall. Part of the instructions examination is that you cannot take phones, you cannot take scraps of sheet of paper, books, anything inside. Funny part is when I was writing throughout my 8 years, then professional stage, most times every diet they always catch somebody with either phone or something inside that is not supposed to be, because once in a while the examiners can just say they want to search. They have the right to do that, and then you stand up and they have to search you to see if there is any incriminating document, phone or anything, and they will catch people with phone. And I wonder, what are you bringing the phone inside for? It's not like you can bring it out and start googling or telling AI to solve the question for you. Most times people forget in the attempt of trying to enter the exam, or they don't check their pockets and they forget the phone. And once they see it, that's the end of the exam. You have automatically failed the exam because that's exam malpractice. So please check yourself here. All these, some of you that do all these rough writings and you have kept it in your pocket. So before you enter the exam hall, put one inside of your pocket. Check that you are not bringing anything incriminating, because examiners will not hear stories that touch the heart at times. Once they have caught you, they have caught you. Whether it's intentional or not, you have forfeited that paper. So please check yourself well. Finally, before you enter the exam, when they say come inside to write your exam, check yourself well. Then please follow all exam instructions. Your examiners are going to be giving you a lot of instructions to invigilators. You will see some on your question sheet. Your invigilators will tell you some. For example, If they are distributing and they tell you not to open your booklet, your sheet, or you should not start solving yet, please listen. They have rights. Once they catch you doing some of these things that they are not supposed to do, most times I won't lie, most of the examiners are quite kind. What they will do most times is they will waste some people's time, ask you to stand up for maybe 15-20 minutes. But if you go and meet somebody that has choco, you will just say it's an exam malpractice and you are done. So please follow instruction. When they tell you to start solving, start solving. When they tell you to stop, that last 2 or 3 lines are writing might not is not likely going to be. It's possible, but it might not be what would make you pass. And if they catch you, that's exam malpractice. So please follow instructions. Then please, this is very important. This is one of the best techniques you can use to clear and pass your exam. Please read all requirements first and plan how to choose your questions and answer. Once they give you your question sheets or your question booklet, most times they will give. I think they will give you. I'm not sure it's still the practice, but the one I'm aware of is that you have 15 minutes to read the question before you start solving, right? So that you can digest the question. Please, the first thing is, number one is your case study is going to be long, almost 2 pages. Stories, don't start with that one. Do you understand? Go to your requirements, odd questions, they have requirements. Leave all the story of all the whatever the examiners have put together. Go to the requirements and check all the requirements for the question. Then start planning. Oh, question 7. This one I know it very well. You can just mentally look at and ask 7, I can do it. Question 3, I'm not sure, but at least I can do 60% of this. So that even before you are giving your answer booklet, you have already planned how you will solve. That helps you because that does not allow you to waste time. And I'll still explain the next thing now, why that is also very important. So please read the requirement. I call it skimming. So quickly just read all the requirements. Don't spend time trying to read the story. That's a waste of time. Read all the requirements. You will automatically from there, to some extent, identify which ones you know, which ones you don't know. In fact, some people can read requirement and be like, I'm coming for next day because they feel like there's no one they can really answer there. But that's the first process. So please read all requirement first, then plan. Also, I will start from question 7. Then please, this is one of the most important tips I would say. Start from the simplest and move to the more difficult questions. Don't start with case study. Take it from me. I've been teaching this thing for a number of years. I'm very experienced in it. Don't start from case study questions. I'll give an example. I was solving question for my review kit for, was it advanced tax or SBI? This particular question on complex group. And as a lecturer, it took me almost 40 or 45, no, 1 hour to solve the question. That's I've been lecturing for years to solve and thoroughly get the question to get the full marks. To solve and explain, it took almost 1 hour. Imagine a student. So that means that at times some questions can take you 1 hour 30 minutes, and it's just not making sense to start with those kind of questions. Why? One, they will destabilize you. They will waste your time. They will waste your mental strength. See, your aim in the exam is to go and what? Go and pass, not to show that you know. See, forget that you have read, you have understood. What the examiners want is, can you answer in such a way that you get enough marks to pass? So your aim is, which questions can I do first and get the most marks? If it's question 7, why can't we not penalize you from starting from question 7? As long as you follow instruction, answer this number of questions in this particular session, you are good to work. You are good to go. So please, very key and important, start from the simplest. So start from the one that you can do and you can do it and you can get your marks. So you see this question in FR, what are the explain ICAN code of ethics and 5 traits ICAN code of ethics or more bonus. You've got 15 marks. You are looking for how many more marks? 35 marks. That's the smart way to answer questions. You are doing PSAF. You saw this question on public debt. Do it before you start going to cash flow on one state government cash flow that will take you 1 hour 20 minutes. So you do that. So you move from the simplest to the hardest. Why? Because if you start from the hardest, it's not like you can't still do them. But there's a way our brain works. When you start from something difficult in an exam, one, it will first waste your time. Secondly, it will drain you mentally because by the time you are trying to solve this, do this adjustment, go back and put it, and at times your account is not even balancing, you're already destabilized. Even the simple one you start struggling with it. So please start like that. It's like you're trying to, somebody that's trying to look for treasure. Start from the ones you can find first before you look for the ones that are more hidden. So that, in fact, if possible, if you do it well, by the time you get your case study, You might not need more than maybe 4 or 5 marks to pass because you have done the other part very well. In fact, if you do other part well, even if you don't do case study, it's still possible to pass. Case study is maybe 30 or 40 marks. It's not the total marks. Do you understand? Okay, so that's also very critical. Let's start rounding up. One, then two, please avoid questions that will consume your time and mental strength. There are questions and there are questions. There are some questions that, even though it's not extremely technical, it's going to take time. I'll give you an example. Cash budget. Cash budget, whether it's in PSAF, PM, cash budget will always take your time. It's not that complex, but because of a lot of adjustments that you have to do, same thing with your group account, same thing with cash flow. So if you have questions that will consume your time and mental strength, and you have simpler questions, please go for the simpler questions. Capital allowance is a question like that too, that also consumes a lot of time. So please, all those time consumers, if you find other questions that won't consume so much of your time and you know it, go for those questions. Like I said, remember, your aim is to pass, not to show examiners that you know book. Okay? Then please don't jump or rush at a question, no matter how simple the question looks. You just see this question, 3 line, you have never read the requirement, you're writing. Most times, a lot of people feel that way. Let me give you a clue. At times, be very careful of all those short questions that have maybe 6-7 lines. At times, they are the really technical questions because they don't have so much that you have to work with. Do you understand? But you see all those long questions, by the time you can interpret it, they are simple questions. They are not as difficult as they look. So please don't jump or rush at a question. Read the question well to understand you, to know you understand, or to be sure you understand the requirement before you attempt it. So even if it's simple, take time. That will take me to the next tip, which is what? Let the requirement guide your answers. Read the requirement 2 or 3 times to be sure you understand. I know what I'm saying. Recently I was solving a question on advanced audit, and they were asking them to explain, I think, value for money, and then they specifically mentioned that while explaining value for money, explain what the objectives of the 3 components are and how to measure them. I'm telling you that some people will fail that question woefully because when they see value for money, they just start writing story about value for money, but the examiner has told you exactly what they want. Mention this. The question says differentiate between, and you're just writing definition. You don't put anything to differentiate. The question says write a report to the managing director explaining how much company income tax the company will pay, and then you just jump at the question CIT. You just do your CIT computation. You have lost a lot of mark. Computation will not get to the full mark. The report will get to the full mark. So please ensure you read the requirement. For foundation courses, most times, the requirement can be quite simple. Explain. For skills, they will test more of the technical part. Do you understand the standard? And for professional, of course, they will test your judgment. You have to write reports. You have to write recommendations. Especially for you that are writing professional stage, please, that's SFM, SBR and Co. Please ensure you read the question well and learn how to write reports. Very key. Okay, then let me say this, please write as legibly as possible. Don't manage paper, I beg. Do you understand? Don't be writing very tiny that even yourself will struggle to read. Write as big as possible. Please, very key. I know someone then that was very brilliant, and the first time the person failed all 5 courses. And when I saw the person's handwriting, I suspect that examiners will struggle to mark the answer because it was so, when you struggle to read. So please write as big and as legibly as possible so that it's easier to check. Then please, this is also very important. Let the marks allocated to a question guide the length and depth of your answer. For each question, there will be marks allocated to it. And so you have to, before you answer any question, look at the marks allocated to it. For example, a regulatory framework of financial reporting, list 5 objectives of the IASB board, just a hypothetical example, please, and they are allocated just 5 marks. Don't go and write epistle, abeg. Don't go and write novel. Just be precise. All those 2 to 3 mark questions, they are not expecting more than 2 or 3 lines. You know the mistake we make most time in the Pathfinder. Note that the solution in the Pathfinder is not what the solution is. The Pathfinder is going to bring all the possible solutions. For example, advantages of NPV method. If they ask you to mention 4, Pathfinder can put 15 there because Pathfinder is to help those that prepare in the future. So it's like an extra material. But in the exam, please let the marks allocated guide you. If the marks are not so much, don't write plenty story. and you see a question, they're asking you to define, explain something, and it's carrying 8 marks, you are writing 2 lines, you will not get anything for that. So please, the marks allocated to your question will also what will also get. Then please, very important, give your best to every question and write or solve as much as you can. I was solving group accounts the other day for some of my students, and I was telling them that with group accounts, if you do group account and you don't get any marks, I'm supposed to flog you. You know why? Because there are some things there that don't require, like one of my lecturers says, no thinking is what required. You just have to add the figures on your financials together. It doesn't need any adjustment. So please attempt the questions. The case study question, attempt it. Write the title. They say you should best name on financial position. Even if you are not sure of the figures, write some things down. Attempt it. Give your very best. Don't give up easily. Like, well, I don't know this one. Write what you can. See, at times some people score 48, 47, 46. The difference at times is that they didn't just expound or write some things that could have gotten them those extra marks to clear that particular paper. So please give your best and solve as much as you can. You are solving cash flow, is not balancing. Leave it alone. The balance is just maybe have 2 marks. All your other ones, cash flow from operating activity, adjustment of working capital, all those things, the ones you did right, you will still get a mark. So even if questions that you don't get right, you can still get 40-50% of the mark, even if you don't get all the marks. So please, you are trying to get as many marks as possible in the exam. Then please watch and manage your time well. Like, have a time that you allocate to each question. I don't want to spend more than 30 minutes on each question before I get to the case study question. Once the 30 minutes is up, wherever you solve it to, go to the next question. Don't sit on one question and spend 2 hours and then here 30 minutes go here. People start shouting, they will start rushing. No, that's also show you're intentional about solving questions. To allocate time. Once you are done, go to that question. If there is time later, you can come back to that question. Do you understand? That's also very key. So then, very important, leave time to go over your answers or review your answers before you finally round up. That is also very, very, very important. Make sure that you leave enough time to go over your answers, review your answers. There was one particular course, I don't remember the name I was writing. I already finished solving. I know all these questions that one answer will lead to another answer. So if you fill one answer, you will fill subsequent answers. And in my addition, I made a mistake. Honestly, it was when I was reviewing that I saw it. I had to correct almost all the figures and prepare it. If I did not check, most likely I would have failed that course. Why? Because I made a mistake. So please, even if it's theoretical part, it's not calculated, please read it again. Review your answers. When you are reading it, can also give you clue to add things to it, remove some things, adjust and fine tune it to get better marks. Then please don't disobey exam rules. Listen to your examiners. When they say this, listen. When they say this, listen. They have a lot of powers and don't fall. Do you understand? Very important. Then let me say this, please. After each paper, don't engage in unnecessary conversation and discussion after each paper. You notice when people will come out, it's like, our that is bigger. Did you see that cash flow? Our that foreign subsidiary, why do what did you get? No, it's supposed to start arguing. Sorry, I don't want to call them fools. Because the truth is that, see, the moment you submit it, it's no longer in your hands. Now it's the hands of the examiner. So whatever you write is when result comes out that will determine who actually did well. So all those discussions are irrelevant. Leave them alone. Go and relax for 10-15 minutes. Get water, drink. If you need to eat, and start preparing and reviewing for your next paper. What is done is done. It's now left to God and the what? Examiner. So don't tell them to be arguing and doing all those unnecessary things. Okay? Then please let me also say this. Whatever has happened with any paper, don't allow it to affect other papers. I'm writing 3 papers and PM was extremely difficult, it was challenging. When the examiners won't kill us, like they give us very tough questions. That's fine. But PM has gone. You have PSAF, you have tax. Please, whatever has happened, let it stay with the paper. Go and prepare for the next paper. It's like, if possible, try and forget everything. Who have done that is now left to God. When results come out, I will know whether I passed or failed. I still have 2 more to go. Because I've seen it case some people like this, they will allow the way they wrote the paper to affect them that would not affect even other papers they could have written better. So please be very careful of that. Okay. All right. So then please, my final words are: 1, prepare as hard as you can. Pray and trust God for the best. So please, as exams are getting closer, keep revising, reading, solving past questions, put in your best. If you need to get somebody to explain some things, explain. read as much as you can, revise your notes, pray too. Prayer is very key. Pray, talk to God, and then when you have finished your exam, trust God for the best. Okay, so then please, you can also follow my channel on YouTube. I have a lot of resources, videos, trainings, and a lot of things I do like that can help you become a very sound and competent professional, whether you are a finance person, auditing, tax, you have all those things. So please follow. I'm going to be putting a lot of content there that are going to be very enlightening and engaging. Okay. Then I also do personal tutorials. Okay, so you can check the link on my page to reach out to me on WhatsApp, or you just drop a message under this video and I'll respond so that I can tell you the details of personal online tutorials. All right, thank you. I wish you the very best and I pray for success in your exams. Thank you.